Anyways, all right, let's get to the Leafs because I know there's a lot of people wondering. And I said earlier in the show that I believe that when the same things keep coming up, you can make it a big deal even when it's not a big deal. I get you're only 10 games into a season. I get that the Leafs have enough talent to make the postseason. But I wonder if these things that keep cropping up to them against subpar teams aren't what trips them up when it matters most. Would you agree with that kind of sentiment? And you can tell me that I'm a complete idiot. I have no problem with it whatsoever.
No, I think so.
I've been told a lot.
I think so for sure. I mean, habits work both ways as a player and as a team, right? You develop and you grow good habits. And you know, you work on them and develop them time after time, shift after shift, game after game. And it can work on the bad side as well. And they're developing these terrible habits right now, and they're going, you know, unpunished. The one I noticed a lot is just simply not shooting the puck. It's an extra pass every time from these guys.
Right.
You're talking in the sweet spot, high goal scoring areas, and they're dishing passes across and looking for option B when the simple shot option is right there in front of them. That's just something little, but I'm witnessing a team right now that's just unmotivated and lethargic. And I saw this timeout yesterday, and the team's not even looking at him. I mean, Austin Matthews is literally not even looking at him during a timeout. Marner's got to go have his little hissy fit here. And it just looks like a team that's just not on the same page from coach all the way down.
You've been on a bench before, and Jesse and I were talking about this earlier. You want accountability. And like I've seen Michael Bunting drop from that top line. I've seen other guys on the defense corps fall out of the lineup completely. When a guy like Marner, who obviously, if you didn't read the lips or see the clip, Sheldon Keefe's pointing at and saying 2 times he gave away the puck, but only sits a total of 6 minutes. Is that kind of accountability something that can wear on the rest of a team? Like, we all know Marner gets paid a lot of money. He's a really talented guy. Same with Austin Matthews. Is that kind of accountability a detriment to the rest of the guys on that room?
Well, I think it falls on everyone. That can be an awkward situation, but I think it's pretty obvious, and even from the team standpoint, like, Mitchie's got to be better, right? Like last night, he just wasn't good enough, and I'm sure he really wanted that goal in overtime, but the turnover started with the defense core the last couple of weeks, and now it's sneaking up into your top skill guys. I mean, 6 minutes going to do anything? I don't know. It didn't really. I don't know what the answer is there. You can't scratch him. I mean, that's a pretty bold move to pull something like that. But that accountability, like you said, falls on every single guy on that team, and you know, it can definitely be a detriment.
Would you be worried long term about the Toronto Maple Leafs, or is this just part of the process?
No, I'm already worried about them long term. I think, like any Toronto sports fan, I just have a bad feeling about this, and I'm a pretty optimistic guy. I just see some of these habits starting to creep in, and some of them aren't. Some of them are fixable, and some of them, I think it's strictly just personnel stuff. And the good thing is they're 500. I mean, we're not looking at a team like Anaheim here in the West that's one in whatever they were we saw yesterday, even after the loss. But I mean, they got to figure it out in a hurry here, or else dominoes are going to start to fall.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of people circling around the coach. The one question that I'll finish with here is, we were talking about the Atlantic Division. Do you believe in some of these teams that we're seeing near the top, the Buffalo Sabres? And like, it seems like it could be one of the most competitive divisions, if not the most competitive in all of hockey. Could that put the Leafs in a precarious spot? I mean, the Bruins seem to be back where they were before. The Panthers last year in the regular season, really good. I don't know what Detroit is. I know Tampa's good. Could they be in a tough spot here?
I think so, but in a more general sense, from playing the game and then watching it, there's no bad teams in the league, in the National Hockey League. These are all National Hockey League players. I mean, the Bees are playing well right now. I didn't think Florida would be playing as well as they did, but on any given night, you can lose to any team, and these things will work themselves out over time, over the year. But we're talking games out of conference that drive coaches nuts. You go and do this Western road trip, it's the out of division games where you need those points, and you can't be looking at the schedule going, whether it's in the West, Arizona, or they're in your division. It's any given Monday, Sunday, Thursday in this league, and if you don't step out with your best game, no matter what position that team is, what division they're in, you're going to have your hands full.